Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying time has come once again to the blood bank. It's good, I kind of need some blood. Alright, we have Limbs and Things versus Sewer Water Sallies. On one side we have Limbs and Things, coached by Husker Fan. They look like they are ready to be Huskers. They're at least drunk enough to be. If they can stay on their feet, they're going to be one of our challengers. And here is the Sewer Water Sallies. Looks like one of them has a couple of heads there. I don't know that two heads are always better than one, though. I get the idea that they have a tendency of arguing with one another quite a lot. So this is going to be in the on the field for... Oh, and here we go. There's the two-headed player and two-armed player. And it looks like that they're getting one of their star players from the last game as well. So Sewer Water Sallies is going to have a couple of star players there. Anyway, it's a Limbs and Things field, so they're going to get home field advantage, and I think they have a lot of Limbs and Things watching this this game. Anyway, all right, they have a Halfling Master Chef. Sewer Water Sallies are going to gain a team reroll, and Limbs Things are losing one. All right. You can hear somebody shooting off some fireworks, or maybe it's just gunfire out in the field. Once again, you never know with a Blood Bowl stadium. Alright, looks like actually it's kind of interesting. They have Hack Flim Shuttle Spike, one of their star players, way over there on the right side. It looks like they're going to put a lot of them close to the front. They're not expecting the Limbs and Things to slip by them, obviously. I guess it makes sense. They are undead. There we go. They're going to put a couple of safeties back there right near the center, taking a while to get themselves set up. And Limbs and Things, confident with their setup already, go ahead and just kick the ball off. Oh, it is going to the Sewer Water Sallies. All right. I guess the Limbs and Things got themselves set up so quickly that I didn't even notice. All right, well, now the Sewer Water Sallies are going to run. That's interesting. They set themselves up on the opposite side from their star player, but they already passed it on to Spot. Spot is running, and the cameraman doesn't feel a need to follow him. He's going a long ways. Is he out of reach of... No, well, not quite. And because Limbs and Things did not put a safety over there on their right side, that it wasn't guarded, and so Sewer Water Sallies have gotten themselves way over there, although the protection did not protect to the back, and so they are going to be able to go in there. Vlad the Blood Drinker is stunned, but you can see that... Oh, okay, there we go. Now that they're going to put a guard against Heath to keep him from being able to go there, and they're going to send another guard over there. Oh, yeah, there we go. Beethoven is going to guard against Aldrigamer and Limburger. They're going to go in for the blitz. This is the star player. Has done a block there where both of them have gone to the ground. And so now... Oh, okay, that's interesting. We are not... it was not a turnover there. So the Sewer Water Sallies are going to continue to slip by. There was just that massive hole over there that the Sewer Water Sallies were able to exploit. Get the ball right into the hands of the gunner runner, who's able to run it almost all the way to the end zone. Alice the Horrible is injured. So the Sewer Water Sallies are continuing to push through the center, even though they already have the ball way down there and some guards for it. Alright, the blitz action is actually going to go after Beethoven, so they're not even going to try to go after the ball at this particular point. They're just simply going to knock some of them around, and they're going to send somebody over there to try to guard against Ratman, making it the rest of the way. So we're going to see, that's probably going to be the only one who can get to them. The rest of this is going to be trying to beat up on a lot of the rest of the players along the main line. This is the first turn. The Skaven have already done this. Baldy is now knocked unconscious. So they've lost a player already. Not lost from the entire game, but certainly from this drive, possibly from future ones. They're going to knock against Penguin, but he is going to stand firm or lay firm. And one of them is going to get knocked down by the prehensile tail of Snowball. All right, let's see what they do here. Will Ratman make it out of the clutches? Will Ratman make it out of the clutches of the evildoers? And here comes the blitz. Or will he be... I can't think of a good pun that would go with Ratman Batman. Anyway, all right, going to knock the ghoul out of the way, and now the way is clear for the touchdown. Ratman once again with a touchdown. He's been doing very well this season, bringing the Water Sallies a lot more victories than usual. They did not enjoy this many victories last season, and this season they have really been showing themselves as a contender. Limbs and Things is actually another one of those situations where the Limbs and Things is a superior team, which is why the Water Sallies have been getting some mercenaries on this game. But they haven't been using them quite to the complete effect. They've been actually kind of keeping up with this more experienced, more powerful team pretty effectively. Alright, so now Water Sallies getting themselves set up. This time they are in defense. And looks like they are going to try to cover as much of that field as possible, knowing what they did to Limbs and Things. They do not want Limbs and Things to do the same thing to them. They are going to cover that entire flank. And now that entire flank. With kind of a diamond shape. Oh, bringing somebody in from the infield. They are really moving around a lot of these players, trying to figure out what they want to do. Alright, there we go. And once again, actually, I have to note that they have 2 Rat Ogres in the front, which is very, very powerful. Now, Limbs and Things has all along the front, a couple on the sides, probably what they should have been doing against this very fast Skaven team. And the camera people, once again, are drunk. I'm not sure what they're doing. There we go, cheering fans. Limbs and Things gets an extra reroll. They need it after that halfling meal distracted them. They may need to go suck someone's blood or something, or chew on a corpse or something like that, so they have a little bit of a snack. They're going to get the ball. This one's going to go to Vlad, the Blood Drinker. And the Minister of Silly Walks is going to walk up there to the Big Rat. And they have a very long, strong line there. Once again, however, they have left a gap there on the side. Oh, there we go. That looks like one of Heath is going there to maybe block against it. But man, they mostly have that strong line right up there in the middle, and they're going to try to punch a hole here on the right, and they get a skull. They have to use up that extra team reroll they just got, and they use it to good effect. Now they're going to punch through the center there. That's where they are really strong. Baldy has been injured. Looks like it was a gouged eye. Big Rat is taken down, knocked unconscious. However, it was a double knockdown, and so that is going to end the Limbs and Things turn. It is a turnover. And now what are the Skaven going to do? They have a couple of gaps here that they can run through, running back towards the ball carrier. So you got Logan back there with them. Mr. Penguin. And yeah, it looks like they're going to exploit that hole there, bring Stitch around. They're going to create another hole on the other side with the blitz action. And he's going to make a little bit more of a move. However, he did just get in the way of his own player, who could have actually skidded around there. But they may not want to go too much in there, because you do not want the opponent to get past you when all of your players are downfield. I think that's what's happened a couple times with people against the Water Sallies. They just got too much in their backfield, and the Water Sallies were able to get past. But now Logan has been KO'd. This may be bad for Water Sallies, seeing as they're going to they might run out of players to do things. Line slowly moves its way forward. That is sort of a strategy of the Undead, is just slowly move your zombies forward. That goes right along with their theme. Snowball has been stunned by the mummy, by Barut III. It makes me wonder what happened to the other two. Maybe they both got unraveled. Alright. Go back to the Water Sallies. There's just no gap all along the front there. It looks like the Western Front in World War I. Just a big everyone just sort of frozen against each other. And Halflam Scutterpike is now injured, and they're not able to re-roll that because as he tried to slip by, he was not able to re-roll. Even though he had the two heads should have made it easier for them to slip by, which is probably what happened, is overconfidence. But because he was a mercenary, he was not able to use the team reroll, and so it goes over to Limbs and Things. This has been a stalemate. That was the word I was looking for before. Oh, and Limbs and Things uses a reroll. I thought it was their last reroll. Oh no, they have a few more. Anyway, uses a reroll and gets a skull. So that's 3 skulls in a row. That is some really bad luck. And so now the Skaven get their bad luck. Have to use their last reroll because of their own bad luck. But they are able to knock another one of those down. And they break through the stalemate, and it gets in there. That is, Riddler has gotten into the face of Heath. They're knocking them around a little back there in the backfield, and it's a double knockdown, goes back to Limbs and Things. So yeah, mostly this has just been a back and forth in the middle, a big stalemate, but this turn, the Skaven managed to break through that, and now, actually, they broke through, but they also made a breakthrough for Limbs and Things, allowing a gap in here. Oh, and as they try to take advantage of that gap and slip through, they get tripped. They got enough rerolls, though, and the reroll doesn't help them. They still get knocked down. So it goes to the Skaven. They may be able to take advantage of this. We've seen this before, where they had somebody in the backfield. All they had to do was knock him down. Somebody got the ball and went in for a touchdown. But now they're going to start with the Rat Ogre, pulling back a little ways just in case it doesn't work. He is going to knock him back. They don't have a reroll. So they're just simply going to stay in his face, in the ball carrier's face. And now the gutter runner is going to run back there with a go for it move. He slips on his back, and it sounded like his back broke or something. At least the wind must have been knocked out of him. I heard a big crack. Goes on to turn 6. Only a couple turns left in this half. Let's see if they can make anything happen with this drive. That's been the problem. Limbs and Things really got stuck there in that center area. But there are a couple of gaps now, so they really need to make a move through there. Oh, and now they're going to hit that rat out of the park. Nibbler sent to the fans, who knock him unconscious. Well, he's lucky to just be knocked unconscious. And now trying to create a gap. Oh, and once again, okay, knocking another one. Stitch has been knocked in front of one of the other players. One of the other players then pushes him into the crowd for them to decide what to do with him. And I don't know exactly what happened to him there. We'll have to see what his fate was, because he just got knocked out of the side. It looks like he was their kicker. We do not know what his fate has been. He's just been lost in the crowd. All right. And as the Undead are not very good at slipping by someone, because once again, they tried to slip by and got knocked down. That comes down to a turnover once again. Oh, that was the ball carrier. The Water Sallies go to pick it up. Riddler cannot keep it in his hands. Does not have a reroll, and so the ball is loose. Oh, that could have turned into a Skaven touchdown right away, and a disaster for Limbs and Things. This is amazing, because Limbs and Things is definitely the superior team, the one that has more experience, has more skilled players, and yet it is the Water Sallies who almost got away with a move like that. Here goes another knocking around in the side, by the sideline, but lucky for Water Sallies, he just gets knocked down. Might be best for him to stay on the ground so that he doesn't get knocked out of bounds. And they cannot get to the ball. So Water Sallies have another chance to get that ball. Do they have anybody else in range who can get to it? Or is it going to be all... Oh! It was all in the hands of Riddler, who falls onto the ball and gets knocked unconscious. I guess that's what happens when you fall onto a spiky death ball. Now it goes over the Limbs and Things. Turn 8, their last turn. They're going to use it to foul one of the players. Since they can't knock Salacious out of bounds, they're just going to kick him while he's down. That is kind of an Undead thing to do, but it's also a Blood Bowl thing to do. So it knocked him unconscious. He won't be coming back this half, but it doesn't matter because the half is over. It's probably a better thing to try to try to kill him so they could get him on the Undead team, because of course if they did, the Undead would have him for the second. They were basically recruiting. That's what happens when the Undead tries to kill somebody. It's just recruiting. And I'll look at all those unconscious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unconscious. Looks like 1 came back. Oh, Sewer Water Sallies are going to have a hard time with this, with not that many players coming back. Halfling Master Chef, Limbs and Things gain 0 team rerolls, and Sewer Water Sallies lose it. Wait, why would they? I'm not quite sure why they would lose. Oh, it must be that the Limbs and Things have a Master Chef. Oh, okay. Can't imagine the Halflings cooking, or at least it being a temptation for anybody but the undead. However, they are rats, so perhaps they would have been attracted to the smell of something really disgusting. Anyway, all right, looks like Sewer Water Sallies are getting up close to the front line there. They will be kicking it off. They don't have. Let's see. Do they have the? Yeah. Oh no, Stitch is back. I remember he was sent off into the crowd, but apparently he came back, and he is kicking off. He is their official kicker. It was a high kick, and so Limbs and Things are able to get under it, but not able to keep it. I mean, ghouls are not exactly good at holding on to balls. I think they tend to drop balls and parts of their body. So some of the others are coming back to assist them and picking up saying, hey, we know you can do this. We believe in you. And then Vlad the Blood Drinker is going to come up and pick up that ball. And instead, the ghoul is going to run forward. Wormgnar is going to run forward to get in the front, maybe to be passed to. All right, Logan has been stunned in the middle, and it looks like they're going to just bring up players to the front line. It looks like it's going to be a sort of a stalemate right there along the front once again until some kind of breakthrough can be made. Comes to Sewer Water Sallies, and they have been doing more breakthroughs in these couple games than we've seen from them in a while, but of course that's what happens when you have a Rat Ogre. And now they're bringing over some of their people to help guard. And the Frenzy is going to knock that zombie down. Not a lot of chance for the zombie when you have a Rat Ogre, and especially the little mouse friend on top on his shoulder. Knocking him around. Oh, and here comes the blitz action all the way into the player. Oh, and then he gets. But are they gonna use reroll? No, they do not use the reroll. It was just not worth it for them. That's a surprise because that probably would have been a good place for a reroll. I think they're gonna later regret that one, but maybe they just didn't feel like they had enough of a chance to take him down. That was kind of a long shot, however. It was a clever one, though. I mean, it was with the Storm Vermin, so he might have actually been able to do something. So they move forward, but they didn't quite create a box there, so there is a gap in that position. Oh, they're going to fill it with the Blitz. It's going to be knocked down, or knocked to the sidelines, where if he's hit again, he might be sent out to the crowd once again. Oh, that's 2 mummies against the Rat Ogre now. Now that is that's a trick. And doing Ratman a favor, pushing him back away from the ghoul line. And Demetrius, the new player, is on his back. And they're making slow headway on the right side of the field, but the ball is on the left side, so that's what really matters. You can hear the horns out in the outfield. I guess that's probably the horns of death from the undead. Oh! And going to try to pull back. They're going to use their last reroll, having to pull back, and it's wasted! Their last reroll gets wasted as they try to pull back away from the front line. This is bad news for the Skaven, as now it's going to be pretty easy for this blitz to create a hole through which they can run. The undead can run. Oh, although they put the hole, they should have put it right here. Instead, they put it on the other side, maybe trying to knock them out of bounds, but they didn't do it. So now there's not a hole. They're going to have to break through over on this side. They're going to have to try to use a one of those slipping by motions, or actually, then they move forward. They're making a mistake because they put themselves right next to Nibbler, creating a chance for him to be hit. And now we get, looks like a double knockdown brings it to the Sewer Water Sallies. Sewer Water Sallies, after having their own bad luck, now have a couple of good possibilities going on right here. I'm going to bring up a player. I'm going to bring up a couple of them. Actually, all of their players. And now they go in for the attack. He is a pro, but only knocks him back. Who is that? Is that Nibbler? Yes, Nibbler is their pro player. Manages to knock Vlad, the blood drinker, back towards the line. And for their Penguin once again goes in trying to get the blitz and doesn't quite make it. And so it goes back to Limbs and Things, having the Sewer Water Sallies almost taken them. They managed to get in there and take the ball from them. Nibbler is dead. Oh, Nibbler, their pro player, has been knocked down and killed. Although Nibbler, actually, they got their apothecary out there to save their pro player. That would have been a disaster for the Sewer Water Sallies. But their doctor has come out and has saved his life. That would have especially been a disaster, as they would have then been seeing Nibbler, their pro player, joining the opposing team, joining the Undead to play against them. Now, actually, since that happened, they did manage to knock down some of the Skaven in front of them, but they got a turnover, and the ball's still in the same place. It is the Undead are having trouble moving forward, and now Ben the Age has been knocked unconscious, sent out into the crowd. Body parts flying to all kinds of different body parts to row A, and other body parts to row C, and I think another one in the parking lot, just all over the place. And the Rat Ogre, of course, tearing apart one of them in the middle. Skaven are bringing over as many of their players as possible over to that side of the field to at least stop the run. They have already used their blitz. They're not going to be able to take down the ball carriers. Mostly they're trying to bring them, it looks like they're trying to bring them over to their side of the field. Well, it's interesting that that one just moved a few spaces and stopped. And it goes over to the Limbs and Things. Maybe the Skaven still think they can do something on the other side of the field. And now Limbs and Things are going to try to bring some players over. And now one of the ghouls is going out to the center of the field, getting himself open for a pass. And now to where it's really important. Knocking some of the Skaven out of the way. And so now, oh, they're going to do a blitz with the ball carrier. You don't see that very... Oh, two skulls. And there you go. There he has the what he needs to move one of the players out of the way. And now Vlad the Blood Drinker is open, but he's not going to do any more movement, so he's staying where he is. He is open now to the Skaven, so he is... he might not... they might be able to stop him. However, they don't have a lot of players who can go in to try to stop him. They're going to send the Rat Ogre up there, and he goes into a frenzy. And it's the block. The Rat Ogre gets knocked down. The Skaven were open, or the ball carrier was open to be hit. However, because the big rat, their star player and large rodent, was not able to, with his frenzy action move. In fact, that's where frenzy can sometimes work against you, is the one with the frenzy can sometimes get a little bit carried away and get himself into a position where he gets knocked down himself. So it went back to Limbs and Things, and now while they had their ball carrier open, they now have a gap through which for him to run. However, he is still being covered by Beethoven, so they're being a little bit cautious about trying to move forward. They're a little concerned about being trapped. They have already used their blitz action, and here he goes running. He has made it out of there. It was Vlad the Blood Drinker has made it out of that gap and is running towards the end zone. And most of the Skaven who could go for him are blocked in, are not going to be able to go and stop him. Oh, and the mummy is going to foul one of the Skaven players. Gets to a turnover, and the Skaven are desperately running over that side of the field and slipping as they do a go for it. They cannot get over to him. They merely become a speed bump if he happens to turn right. But I doubt he's going to, because it goes to Limbs and Things. With him being able to just run right in there and touchdown. Touchdown Vlad the Blood Drinker. With the Skaven unable to get to them to stop them, all they had to do was slip away, and nobody was there to even come close to stopping them. So, Limbs and Things tying this score up 1-1. Dead and injured. That is kind of curious when you're talking about an undead team. They're kind of redundant there. The Water Sallies, luckily not having any fatalities. They almost did. But they're coming out of this still with all their players. Only a couple of turns left. However, Skaven can make a touchdown in 2 turns. So we will see if we can turn this from being a tying game to a winning game. The what do we call it? The Limbs and Things once again have weak flanks. However, at least they're not empty flanks. Before it was completely empty, they were able to exploit it. Now they have just one on each side. If the Skaven can take that one out on each side, they can make a run out of it. Looks like they're putting a lot of them close to the front of the field. A strong left, weaker right, but a lot of players over there, and only one in the backfield in order to catch it. So this is clearly going to be one where they're going to try to get somebody open to pass it to them. Rat Ogre is making some headway. Oh, and it is a zombie with shadowing. That is a scary skill for a zombie to have. And a double knockdown takes away the chances for the Skaven to win this game. They will still have one more turn, but they did not manage to pick up that ball. They should not have been wasting it dilly-dallying with this. They should have just stuck to taking out one of these side players, then sending somebody out to go for the catch. It was a mistake that it will cost them the game. However, it'll cost them only a victory. They will continue to have this game as a tie. Now it's a matter of who gets killed, and once again the Undead are recruiting, trying to get Snowball on their team. They do not succeed. Now their thrower manages to get the Skaven thrower spot, gets the ball, throws it, and it goes wide. The ball goes flying back in, and to one of the players, then to one of the others. Beethoven has the ball. Is he going to be able to run it? He is going to be able to. He's not going to be able to make it into the end zone, but he goes running. He's at 16, he's at 20, and a few yards short of making a touchdown. It is a pity that they did not get that gap at the beginning, or at the beginning of this drive, but at least they're going to get a little bit of points here by knocking around some of these undead. It's a hobby of the Skaven, just knocking down zombies. It's what we used to do in the Midwest. We called it zombie tipping. And is there anybody left to attack? Well, it looks like, yeah, they're going to go over here and see what they can do about this mummy. And in the case of the Skaven, it is not, this is not recruiting. This is just picking on them. Oh, and he spanks him. As the last play of the game, one of the Skaven just spanks one of the monsters. So there you go, 1-1. Limb Grinder, the Ghoul, is the MVP on the side of Limbs and Things, and Nibbler MVP for Water Sallies. You had Limbs and Things had the ball a lot longer. Water Sallies really didn't need it for very long to get their score. And there you go with the rest of it. Once again, like I say, Water Sallies almost had a death, did not. You had Limbs and Things had Limb Grinder, Vlad the Blood Drinker, Conrad the Unrivaled, I think Unraveled would be more appropriate, at least if it's a mummy. And Barut the Third. Those are the ones getting experience points. So Water Sallies getting Nibbler, Ratman, Big Rat, and Spot. I think Big Rat actually was their, what do you call it, their star player that they got temporarily for this one. So it is interesting him getting experience points because, well, it's not like he's going to really be able to do anything. But I don't know, maybe those, what do you call it, the players that they get temporarily, maybe they get experience going on Mercenary. Maybe the Mercenary players can level up later on their own. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, all right, free agents, maybe they're called. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, here's the dice rolls. And that'll do it for us here. That's the last game of this competition for these two teams. We got one more coming up. Be sure to stay tuned for that. Subscribe to see when it comes up. And be sure to see our other games. Happy gaming, everybody!